Hannah Einbinder, in Hacks, you are dealing with the world of comedy, something that you have some experience with. What can you most relate to from the show?
What can I most relate to from the show? I think persistence amid punishing failure.
Yeah, fair enough. Do you want to elaborate?
Well, I'm in the show. I'm a writer, and in reality, I'm a stand-up, and um, it involves a lot of trial and error. What I do, and so I think this character experiences that when she's challenged by not a crowd in my case, but Deborah in hers. So yeah, I would say just like really hard work and persistence.
Yeah. Now, as a stand-up comic, you have to work bits and scenes develop. I mean, bits develop over time. How does that compare to starring in a sitcom where you need to work on scenes and develop those? And I imagine there's less time for them to evolve.
Sure, absolutely. You're right about that. I would say that, with stand up, you have open mics and shows and ways to develop material. And with television, you have takes. So, we do have a little bit of that trial and error where I will give my take on it. And our director, in most cases, Lucia, who was like such a great teacher, really that's what she was doing. She was, giving me direction. My director was giving me direction. Shocker. There, big, huge news story there. But yeah, it was like that was my own version of like that trial and error. So I was able to work it out that way.
Without spoiling anything from the show for people who haven't seen it, what was maybe a scene that you found the trickiest or the most challenging to sort of develop and evolve?
The scene trickiest to develop, meaning
Yeah,
like
to get right with
ah,
through that take process. Yeah.
ah, um, what's funny there? There is one scene, and it is one line, and it was like I'm being woken up, um, and the capturing accurately both being dead asleep and then speaking immediately was something that I was like, oh, this takes such precision, because sleep acting, of course, hard, right, to do,
Yeah.
because you're just like, it's the most alert you will ever be with 18 people in the room and all this stuff. So it's like this, it's one line and I'm dead asleep and then I'm awake, so um that comes to mind because it was just like, I truly was like, I'm so sorry, you guys. This is like, I'm so sorry. It's taking me forever.
How many
So,
takes do you think that one took you?
oh my God. I want to say in the 20 plus range. And it's
Yeah.
one word, truly. Like,
It's like a surreal sort of like snooze alarm. You have to keep on going back and getting back up.
yeah, exactly. It's
Yeah.
great.
What did you find? What did you find the most challenging thing about approaching the character of Ava in the
Mm.
series?
She is sort of, I want to say, brash at times. She's not someone who thinks very much before she speaks. She's kind of like, call it like I see it. And I'm someone who sort of overanalyzes every word that escapes my mouth to death. Like truly each word escapes and I'm like, no, come back. Like, and so like getting in that mindset of just fully like thoughts, words, is a shift for me. But like, she's someone I understand. Like, she's a young queer comedy writer from LA, and so it wasn't a stretch. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, definitely. And like, I think the interesting thing is that Ava and Deborah Vance are obviously at very different places in their sort of careers and their stages, but they both have a supreme confidence about themselves and their way of seeing the world and their way of doing things. What was it like, juggling that sort of relationship and approaching that sort of back and forth with Deborah, played by Jean Smart on the show?
Well, I love that relationship because it feels a little like verbal jousting at times. And I think like some of the people I love the most in my life are comedians, and comedians can be very difficult. And so, it felt like a familiar dynamic to me because, I have like disagreements and loving arguments with friends of mine constantly about comedy, about writing. And that's what you see between Deborah and Ava, excuse me. Deborah and Ava. So, that felt like a familiar dynamic for sure. So yeah.
What was the most important thing for you to get right in those scenes and in that relationship?
I think the correct agitation, like on either side, right? Like to poke Deborah in the correct way and have it accurately display our dynamic and the relationship between us. Obviously, the comedy very important, but I think what the show comes down to at the end of the day is truly heart. So really, I think the core is heart, and making sure that, yes, these people are working and the show is in part about their work, but their work is a huge reflection of themselves because it's been the only thing these two people can really rely on. So
Yeah.
I've given you 12 answers. I'm sorry.
That's fine. No, give as many as you like, Hannah. I think the interesting thing is we're talking a lot about the back and forward and that relationship. Most of your experience has been in the stand-up world, which in some ways is a sort of lonely environment. You stand up the front, it's all attention on you. What's it like being in a sort of a series environment, which is more collaborative and more about sort of back and forths with other actors and players on the show?
My answer is what any parent will say, which is I love them both equally for different reasons.
Yeah.
It's truly so rewarding, especially at a time like this. And especially when every single person on the set of this show is lovely and funny. The PAs are funny, the camera guys, the grips. Every single person on that show was funny and loving. And we were also desperate for connection, that it was like such a vital experience in a time like this. And so, they're different, but I love them for different reasons. Yeah.
In a time like this, I guess that was a helpful thing for connection, but also, like, I guess for audiences to have comedy shows to watch at a time like this. What role do you see comedy playing at times of stress and anxiety?
I think it helps some people. I think that there is something to the idea that comedy is, I can only speak for myself, but it is truly the way that I deal with pain. And I know there are a lot of people out there who just need to laugh. And I know from doing shows and, other comedians have shared this with me. It's a very common thing for a comedian to do a show and somebody in the audience to be like, hey, I had a really, really hard day. I needed this. Thank you. And I don't want to be all high and mighty about comedians. Healthcare workers are certainly more important. But I do think that it for the soul, it is a really a great alleviator of stresses, and everybody's different. Some people need to sit in their feelings and work through it, and joking actually doesn't help. There are just two, kind of types of people when it comes to that. But I think for a certain group of people, it is the best medicine. Besides, like, actual medicine.
Actual medicine, yes. Get your shots, everyone watching this. What do you think, Hannah, was for you the funniest scene or moment or day shooting the show?
God, it's so hard to say. We every single day, with even on like sad crying scene type thing, like because of the environment, every day was truly a delight. And the 3 camera operators were such clowns, like so funny, that we were just constantly laughing and kind of goofing around. But in terms of the show, let me think. I'm also trying not to give stuff away because there might be.
Yeah.
I think in general, whenever Gene and I are able to, because the EPs have given us a great deal of freedom, and whenever they get all of the coverage, and then they go, all right, girls, this one's for you, do whatever you want, kind of like free, improvise and whatever.
Yeah.
That is just heaven. And that is given to everyone on the cast. We're able to, once we've gotten the coverage, they'll go, okay, so, have fun. This one's for you completely. And those are just the most magical moments.
Yeah. Who do you think, who's better at sort of, what is the thing? Like sort of serving in that back and forth, you or Gene?
Gotta be even. Yeah. I mean, Gene's the queen of planet Earth to me. But it's got to be like an even dynamic for it to work. And our friendship plays through in those moments, I think. So I think we're well matched, I will say.
That's good. I'm gonna be speaking to her hopefully next week, and I'm gonna ask her the sort of flip question to what I'm gonna ask you now, and that is, what is something you've learnt from her working with her?
It really goes beyond acting. It includes acting, but it goes beyond acting. In terms of acting, she has helped me to relax and feel really natural. But it really is a masterclass watching her go through a range of emotions and doing comedy and drama within truly a moment, from one moment to the next. I've learned a great deal about professionalism. I mean, just the way that she leads a set as the lead of the show. And she's just a great mom and a lovely and wonderful, empathetic, accommodating giver in every way, on screen and off. She's a giver. And that's just, I think, from someone who receives Gene's gifts, both emotionally and literally, in the gift certificate to a vegan cheese shop that she got me, nice. It feels so comfortable and loving, and I hope to, pass that on.
Yeah. Any guesses?
I'm keeping the gift card.
No. Oh yeah. Is there any predictions as to what she might say she's learnt from you?
I don't know. Okay. I mean, I don't know what she could have possibly learned from me. I mean, the one thing I did tell her was that was microphone placement. It's a dead giveaway if the mic is down here or off to the side. So the one thing I told her is the only thing she is on it with the stand up. She's got it. Like Gene is an orator. She comes from theater. She's perfect. The only thing I told her was keep that mic up.
There you go. What else I should say? Do you have any questions for us to ask her when we speak with her about the show?
Ask her where my money is. No, I'm kidding. Just kidding. Totally kidding. No, I mean, you've asked wonderful questions, so I think
Yeah.
I think you got it.
Similar sort of stuff. Okay, fantastic. What do you think is the sort of driving force behind Hacks? What do you think is the thing that makes Hacks work?
The theme that makes Hacks work. The show must go on. Like I said, kind of in the beginning, I believe the through line is perseverance and pushing through pain and pushing through difficulty, pushing through when things aren't clicking, faith, keeping, I mean, not like literally, but like hope for more, and strength of the feminine spirit.
There you go. Is there any, like, can you think to a particular day or scene you had to shoot where like there was that needing to persevere and sort of push through?
I think with maybe some of the emotional stuff, just because that's not like something I've done. So that was something where I had to really get into a sort of almost like meditative state. I think the emotional stuff was a place where I kind of had to really it was the only thing that I was like, okay, this is a real legitimate skill that I need to just like learn.
Yeah.
But it was rewarding, and it felt like once it clicked, it clicked.
That's good. And is there something that you found most fun to do, or what do you think is the most fun thing about Ava?
The most fun thing about Ava is probably that she has no filter, and so sometimes things she will say are like, "Wow, okay, you crossed a line," but sometimes she's right on, and she really just gets people. There is a joke in episode 5 in sort of the like basement of the casino that I'm thinking of that I hope you'll see. You've seen 1 through 6? Have you?
Yeah. Yes, I have.
Yeah. It's the joke about the antique carpet store.
Yeah.
That's an example of something where I think she's fun because she'll just like give it to somebody, playfully roast them, kind of, which I love. I think she's fun in that way. She's also like kind of a partier at times, so.
Yeah, rush it. What for you, to wrap up today, Hannah, what for you is the biggest joy about going into work at Hacks?
The friends. Gotta be the friends. Paul, Lucia, and Jen have become people I love like so deeply, and Jean and Poppy and Carl and Meg and Johnny and Mark. Our cast is made up of people that I love. The best part about this, and it's not even close, is the friends.
Yeah. Well, Hannah, thank you so much for talking to us today. All the best of luck for the upcoming Emmy Awards this year, and with the success of Hacks. And if they watch this interview, you can go to goldderby.com where you can make your own awards predictions and watch other interviews. Thanks, Hannah.
Thank you, Matt.